Hello there, Winter Trainer here, welcoming you to a Week 3 recap of the California Crawdaunt, which is on the right, versus the Atlanta Dream Eaters. Now, this week for the match recap, we got two coaches with me, and the first one is Austin,
Hello, Coach Austin, coaches Louisville Crawdaunts.
and then we got TPB.
Hello, I'm TPB. I'm the third and hopefully final coach of the California Cardons.
Okay, so now we can get into this match, and as you can see, TPB is here to talk about his side of the battle, and we'll get right into it. So with the leads, I think they're both pretty fine. Nothing to complain about. I'd say overall throughout this match, you'll see that there aren't a lot of misplays. It's a pretty well played match on both sides. But yeah, we'll just keep going here. We got turn two. We can probably speed this up a bit to where it gets exciting. And here comes in the Alligator. So I really like the Bring of Irontail. I think people are just scared of missing moves, and it's always refreshing to see someone bring something like Iron Tail or just any move like that that's lower accuracy.
Mm-hmm.
And then we see the Toxic Spikes being put up. I think that's definitely a good bring on his side. Toxic Spikes is just, it's so hard to deal with for a lot of teams. Because even though you have ways to get rid of hazards, it's just hard to get rid of them without getting something toxic. So we see some unfortunate paralysis here in turn 8, and then I mean a crit, but with Icicle Spear that's bound to happen at least once. And unfortunately he doesn't get paralyzed the second time and hits, but the Figgy Berry sort of eliminates that. So yeah, an unfortunate exchange there, but got a little chunk off on it. And then we see that because the Ice Shard gets some damage on him, but the Dark Pulse is able to kill. I'm not sure if that crit mattered. It probably didn't.
Didn't. It
Yeah.
didn't.
And then we see, well, I guess that's the first like real misplay there is he goes into Clefable, assuming he has nothing to hit him. I
But
think it's sort of that's sort of just not like looking into it much. Or I know he said here he thought he was choiced. I think it's too early to make that assumption that he's choiced based off of one move. So yeah, it didn't really cost him too much in the long terms, but Clefable would have been live, and that would have been nice. So keep going. Here comes in Decidueye, and he hits the Focus Blast, but he's immune, so nothing really happened there. But we keep going, and we see he goes for U-turn. Now, that's not really a misplay per se, but that was probably his best chance to get off a defog for a while. And
Mm-hmm.
it's hard to see that looking forward, but sometimes when toxic spikes are up, it's best just to get the defog off when you can.
Yeah. I didn't really want to defog at this time because what I'm able to do is I could just bring in Tapu Fini, and then with the Misty Terrain, Toxic Spikes don't affect my Pokemon, but that's only temporary, and I have to bring Tapu Fini in for that to happen. So yeah, I probably should have defogged.
Yeah, so as we keep going here, uh, like he's saying, his reasonings for not defogging make sense. It's sort of a 50-50 there. Like both work. And then we see the Darmanitan just missing out on the knockout on the Lando. Now, I know it's a roll. Do you remember what the rule was for that?
50-50.
50-50. So yeah, and here we see with him missing that roll, he gains a bit more toxic damage, and he's down to 34%, which ends up being pretty important for Darmanitan at least. So missing that roll there was definitely very unfortunate. And we see it continues Pokemon getting poisoned. It just sort of sucks, but it's
Mm-hmm.
it's fine right now. He's up 5-2, and it's looking like he's got the upper hand right now. We see that it's Sash Alakazam, pretty expected, and the Feeny goes down. And then in comes the Miltank to pick up the kill. And he's up 4-2 now. Or 4-1. And here comes a very important part. He switches out Miltank and the crit. And we can sort of just skip through, or just go through this a little quicker. Just a bunch. Oh wait, there's the one more thing. The Black Hole Eclipse just misses out on the KO. And that was that one a roll, or was that
50-50?
50-50 again? So some nice rolls here, and just yeah. It just ends up that with the toxic damage from not killing Lando earlier on the 50-50, Bullet Punch is able to kill, and that is the match.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, basically the story of that comeback was he's definitely fortunate. He got two 50-50s in his favor, and I mean he got the crit obviously. So a lot of things had to go his way to get that comeback, and I mean it did. That's it happens in Pokemon. So although his reasoning for switching on Miltank was to preserve differential, and that makes sense. But like I guess in the back of your mind, you need to think about the crit possibility. But no, I don't think anyone really does. There are so many times when that happens, and you just lose because of it.
Yeah. The reason I wanted to preserve differential is I didn't have any control over this team. You know, I started out the season 0-2, so I thought what I need to do is get good differential, because you know when you start out 0-2, the odds of making playoffs are a lot less in your favor. So you know, I tried to preserve differential so I have a better start to the season. But yeah, the crit happened.
Yeah. So definitely very very unfortunate. Uh, the rolls are really hard to. There's nothing you do to control that. It happens. Really, the only thing that could have been done to prevent this from happening was defogging away the toxic spikes. But once again, that was sort of a 50-50 there play wise. It makes sense to defog there, but also U-turning for initiative is really nice for his team, and it allowed him to get up the edge there, but he just missed the roll. So, yeah. I think on both sides it was a really well played game. I don't think TPB made any major anything that is not a sorry. He didn't make any misplays that were anything besides 50-50 rolls or crits. If you take those out, and let's say he gets those rolls in his favor or not the crit, then we would be saying right now that he made no misplays. So it's more so on his side, just Pokemon being Pokemon. And on Blub's side, I'd say definitely assuming that he was Choice Hydreigon off of one move was very questionable. And I mean, other than that, it was maybe more so on his side prep. I don't think he had much for offensive Feeny slash the Z Hydreigon, or a Hydreigon in general. Because if he had like a fire move on it, he doesn't have many switch-ins besides the Clefable.
I think not bringing Volcanion was a misplay on his prep.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Volcanion, like, I had it in another league, and every time I brought it, I wasn't able to do much with it, but it's just a threat. Like, you force switches that you wouldn't be before, and you can take hits from stuff. It's such a nice typing.
Yeah, Volcanion, I believe if he was Choice Specs with Sludge Wave, he 2-hit KOs my entire team. So there's that. It just does so much damage.
Base one installs not a bad thing either.
And then one thing though is you mentioned not prepping or not yeah, not predicting or not prepping for the offensive Feeney, but you always got to keep that in the back of your mind because it's even without like max HP, max defense, it's still it it does a lot, you know, it does a lot of damage.
Yeah, just going back to week 2 where I faced this team versus Jace, who is no longer with us. Combine Feeney, like it has no recovery options, but it was at like 90% the whole battle until I killed it. And yeah, like leftovers plus Combine or just being offensive isn't as bad as you'd think it would be. Feeney can really pull its own weight in that category.
And there's a lot of mons that can that are bulky-ish or more walls normally, but can be turned around and be very offensive in certain times given the right matchups.
Hmm.
Yeah, definitely. And utilizing that versatility is definitely something you need to do in league format as shown in this battle and I mean multiple battles with this team where offensive Feeney put in a lot of work. I think it's up there on the kill list. I think you're mentioning that. Uh,
Hmm.
what
I
is
can look
it?
at it.
It's number 7, 5 and 1. So yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean there are definitely some mons up here that you wouldn't expect and Feeney being one of them has been putting in a lot of work this season, which is always nice to see.
Hmm.
But any last thoughts from you two?
I don't think so.
I think it was a well played game. I think TBB did all he could do to win, and he just once one of them rolls went his way, he probably could have pulled it out.
Yeah, I agree. So going forward on TPB side, I liked everything I saw. I guess just keep in the back of your mind the possibilities of crits. I mean
Hmm.
that's all you can really take from this match. That
Oh,
crits can happen at the worst time.
yeah. Always have a backup plan.
Yeah,
You
I
know.
guess that is the one thing. At that point, you you could sort of think that your only way to beat it is getting a roll with Hydreigon or not getting crit, but
Yeah.
it's really hard to think that far ahead and
Hmm.
realize that that could possibly happen.
And with this scissor set, it was actually a really strange set because it had almost max special defense and a little bit of HP investment. So, um, good prep on his part. If he didn't bring that special defense investment, I would have won this game. But he had like 208 special defense, so he took the black hole eclipse really well. So good prep on his part.
Yeah, that's definitely true. To get to the point where this hacks need to happen, he did do some prep very well that made it possible. Because, like you said, if he didn't bring specially defensive scissor, then there was no chance he would have won at this point. So
Hmm.
definitely good prep in that sense on his side. But when Volcanion isn't brought in it, as TPV was saying, two it KOs everything on his team. Yeah, sometimes it's hard to use. Volcanion. I've had trouble with it before, but just bringing it as just something to force switch outs or just to take hits, because just on this team you can see it would fare pretty well.
Hmm.
And yeah, other than that, just maybe on the prep side, because I don't think he made any huge misplays other than uh, the clefable play.
Hmm.
So yeah, that's gonna be this edition of our weekly recap for this match, and we'll see you later. Bye.